when I get bigger, I'll kind of think about that. But it doesn't matter what size business you are, like the laws apply to, you know, all kinds of businesses. So it's just important to make sure that it is a priority.
Right, exactly. And in terms of the law as well, when you become a business owner, you're held to a different standard,
Yes,
especially here in the
absolutely.
US. So there's a different standard that the law expects that you know better because you are now a business owner. That if you're going to start a business, you're really going to do the research and make sure that you have all of this in order. So you're right, whether or not you're a small business or a big business, it really doesn't matter. The law really expects you and holds you to a higher standard to know that you're getting these things in place. So.
And as you said earlier, just saying, oh, I'm new to this, that's not going to cut it. Like you have got to really do your homework and make sure that you're doing everything you need to.
Yeah, exactly.
One thing I will just circle back to quickly, if you don't mind, was just the GDPR, because if anybody's not heard of that, I thought we could maybe just quickly answer that question, because I have heard as well a lot of people thinking, oh, well, I'm in the US, the GDPR is for Europeans, it doesn't affect me. But it is something that everybody needs to be aware of, isn't it?
Yeah, and there's actually another Brazilian law that just passed in August of 2020
Okay.
that applies to everybody worldwide as well. So there's all of these countries that are coming out with their own laws that affect everybody. And really, when you think about it, yes, we aren't, you know, all sitting in the European Union or in Brazil, right? But if you have one person from any one of those places view your website, then you have to be compliant with these laws. And, you know, we kind of sometimes think like, oh, we're out of arm's reach, right? Like who from Brazil is really going to sue us or give me a penalty or fine? But it does happen. So it is, you know, there is some caution there when it comes to that. But the GDPR basically, and the privacy policy basically, is a regulatory way to let people know the type of data that you're collecting when they visit your website. And even if you have a standalone website that just has an image on it that says coming soon, you're still collecting IP addresses, which is a data locator. It shows where exactly people are viewing your website from. So you can go into the back end, take a look and say, oh, you know, 50 people from California saw my website today and 200 people from the UK, right? So it's locating where they are, and that is considered to be personal data. So you are collecting personal data, even if you have a live website that doesn't have anything on it, which means in turn that you have to have a privacy policy on your website, especially if you have something like a newsletter that they can opt into, right? If you're taking payments from your website, that's all privacy policy information, and you need to have a privacy policy on the footer of your site if you have any of that going on.
And I think there's always been a bit of confusion, because when it says private data, you know, or personal data, people think, oh, well, it must be like someone's name and address and phone number, but actually any kind of tracking that you have. And it becomes difficult because most softwares these days, or most website providers that you might use as kind of a builder, they automatically have that tracking in there. And it's amazing for us as business owners, like to have that data, but then it does mean that we do have to fall into that GDPR. Those of you in the UK, you do have to pay some money to a company that, if you want to know, I'll look it up for you and you can send me a DM and I'll find the details, but I have to pay, I think, about £50 a year to some sort of GDPR compliance body. So we're basically, as business owners, paying for them to find us if we're not GDPR compliant, which is a weird thing that we have to do as business owners.
Yeah, I mean, the basic good rule of thumb is if you have a website and it's live and other people can view it, then make sure you have your privacy policy on there.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. I know that you've got quite a few links for us. So if there's any in particular that you want